politics is not only a very interesting game, but also a very dirty game. And for those who have been following the Kenyan politics over the years, you will realize that one person who has been at the center of the political dynamics is Raila Odinga. He has remained very relevant over the subsequent regimes, whether it is Daniel Toroitich arap Moi, Mwai Kibaki, William Ruto, and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And for some of these events, you can always predict. I've always said that when you study politics, sometimes it does not need rocket science to even predict what will come next. And have you realized that when William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua took oath of office, they started on a very high note? And Raila was at the center because you remember when they were going for the demonstrations on the streets, Rigathi Gachagua was very relevant. Ndindi Nyoro was very relevant. Kimani Ichung'wah was very relevant. In fact, Raila Odinga united the UDA fraternity. Immediately, Raila Odinga decided to stop the demonstrations. Then the reality dawned on the UDA fraternity that there was no enemy. And that is why you can see Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto now reading from different pages, because when they came up together, they teamed up because they wanted to defeat Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta. As that was happening, William Ruto had also coiled another team. There was another coalition kind of, and they were named Nyanza rebels. People like Felix Odiwuor, aka Jalango, Gideon Ochanda of Bondo. We had the Kisumu Senator Tom Ojienda. We had Mark Nyamita. We had a group of Luo Nyanza politicians who had crafted their own path, and they were saying that they did not want to follow Raila's political ideologies. So William Ruto was at the center. William Ruto had this in Nyanza, and he also had people like Rigathi Gachagua. You remember how they even tried to take Sabina Chege and Kanini Kega. Now, as we speak today, and this is the reason why I was telling you that the Kenyan politics is very easy even to predict. People knew very well that sooner than soonest, Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto were going to fall out. Not only that, people knew that the Nyanza rebels would come back crying foul. And yesterday, at a funeral of Eliud Owalo, who is the ICT cabinet secretary, he had lost his brother. Those Nyanza rebels converged together, and I know this has been analyzed by many political analysts. And they were crying foul. They just decided that we are not going to see darkness and we keep quiet. Just like Rigathi Gachagua has decided that he's a truthful man and is not going to see darkness, and he keeps quiet. And they were crying foul, accusing William Ruto of not honoring the promises that he gave to the Nyanza people. And before we watch this, I want to remind you of this phrase, whether you can still remember it. Sisi hatutaki maandamano, tunataka maendeleo. And if you can remember that slogan, watch this video so that we come back and try and figure out just exactly what is happening.
Family and to all who have come to help them inter their beloved brother. Good afternoon. God is good and all the time. Thank you so much. Anapenda biro kae mondo arioragi family maro walo kagi ko wadiga magihera hii. Waziri, pole sana familia yako. Mungu awape neema. May the Lord comfort you. May he be your strength in this difficult time. And may He bless you as He takes Jack to the place He's prepared for him. I didn't know Jack at all, but I've read his eulogy. Short one, crisp, well written. And Jack epitomizes the Luo spirit, resilience, hard work, and above all, the Luo cash crop, Somo. Our cash crop as Luos was always Somo. That was our cash crop as Luos. Going to school, doing well in school. The other attribute of the Luo is our resilience, even in the face of tragedies. Jack teaches us very well with his life without going to a classroom. May the Lord bless him. May the Lord rest his soul in peace. And I'm in a party called MDG, which is a partner in the Kenya Kwanza Coalition. And we joined Kenya Kwanza Coalition consciously. ODM. I just want to disagree with those who have spoken earlier. Our enemy is not ODM. Our enemy is not Raila. But I hope the enemy of these people is the government meeting their demands. Ni kindi ko jopuonj, to ndik jopuonj ma joluo mang'eny be moloyo. When they're employing teachers, if they are 40,000 and Luos need 10,000, give them 10,000. Don't give them 2,000. That's the enemy. If you are building roads in central Kenya and Rift Valley, give us our fair share of roads. That's our enemy. If we are employing army people, give us our fair share of army people. If you are doing markets, that is how you'll win these people. If you don't do that, Raila will go to the AU, and another Raila will come up. I can assure you. Because these people respond to what government does positively, if government is positive with them. Awacho mayom, kosoka awacho mayom. Ni si jasiko ken ODM. Jasikwa en sirikal chupo dwarowa. Jasikwa en sirikal ngeno ni this country is run equitably. So that if a Kikuyu gets a road, Alu also gets a road. If a Kalenjin gets a market, Alu also gets a market. That's what we want. And I say this knowing that I'm in Kenya Kwanza, I'm part of the coalition, but this region for a long time was sidelined. For a long time, we've seen things happening in the rest of the world, and they don't happen. And so ningependa kuambia ndugu Hopes, Rais alikuwa hapa kwetu mwaka jana. And he promised so many things. And these people, that's not telling you. Ochanda hapo, yule jamaa wa Lang'ata, Nyamita kule Migori. People are asking us, iko wapi zile vitu mlipromisiwa? So we have to deal with that. Before you do these UDA elections, let's work for the people. Ensure that kazi ya Walu ni rahisi, kazi ya Umulu ni rahisi, so that we talk to the people, the ground is soft. May God bless you. May God bless all the family. May He rest in peace.
I think my only two remarks. Number one, we made a choice. Some of us, a few of us, made a choice that we were going to work with the government. I'm not regretting it, and a number of us are not regretting it. We are working with the government. So it's a choice that we took, and we went fairly early, immediately after the elections. It was a choice we took. We don't want to regret it. We only want to redefine the kind of a relationship. I use this, We only need to redefine the kind of a relationship that we are to have or we are having with the government. There must be some firm confirmations. And those who want to confirm are nobody other than our people. Those are the ones who want to confirmations. Partly, Deputy Ching has alluded to it. Jalango has also said it. We are not regretting. we are not regretting. I think, Hobbs, this is what you need to take with you. The president came along. We were with him here last year. It was good. But then you followed with a number of letters in terms of implementation of some of the promissory statements of the president. I think that's the best that we can ask from you. By end of Friday next week, our budget is out. Our budget is out. The national estimates for 24-25 is out. We want to plead with you that can you do what you can, such that some of those promissory projects that the president made in front of our people, these people were very, very happy. And there are not many projects. Some of them, if we have them included in the next estimates for this country, it will be a firm and a good confirmation that we are working with the government. So the best that you people can help us with is these confirmations, indicators that for sure we are working with the government. May God rest Jack's soul in eternal peace. Asanteni sana.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are videos that we have seen. And as I said earlier, this was really expected. It was only a matter of time. For that of Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto, I thought the fallout would come at their second term, just as it happened between William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. But it has come so soon. For the rebels, I knew it would come the soonest time possible. And I want us to explain why this had to come the soonest time. Because when William Ruto was appointing people like Eliud Owalo and calling upon the Nyanza members of parliament to come to him, they had two different ideas. For William Ruto, he just wanted a makeshift team to create a perception. Perception is very, very significant and very paramount in every political scenario. But for the Nyanza rebels, they thought there was something tangible. And that is why I was reminding you of this slogan, Sisi hatutaki maandamano, tunataka maendeleo. And I want us to just give you just 3 reasons why the Nyanza rebels have not seen it all. And if they did not know that they were going to cry fall, I think they better check. Because William Ruto did not have anything tangible for them. Allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so that YouTube can notify you whenever we release a video like this. And I want to thank you for your continued support to our channel. Ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto had crafted this makeshift team because Raila Amolo Odinga and the entire opposition went to the streets and they wanted the server to be opened. They wanted the government to lower the cost of living. So William Ruto wanted a perception on politics that even in Nyanza, where Raila is coming from, I have been embraced. And he was using those Nyanza rebels as a pointer, as evidence that I'm accepted across all the corners of Kenya. And that was it. And when people were going for the demonstrations, they were placed strategically to hold meetings and call press conferences saying that Sisi, instead of going for the demonstrations, please, we want development. We don't need demonstrations, we need development. Hatutaki maandamano, tunataka maendeleo. Immediately, Raila ended the demonstrations. Their relevance was erased. They became irrelevant because they were placed to counter Raila Amolo Odinga. They were placed to counter his activities like the demonstrations. I remember when the demonstrations were going on, somebody like Eliud Owalo and that group were distributing food stuff in Nyanza, just to show that as Raila is leading demonstrations, William Ruto is busy, together with the Nyanza rebels, providing food stuff, and that is what they called Maendeleo. And I remember at some point, Tom Ojenda brought some mabati structures. I think it was constructing some structure, some building as a police station, and that was a warning. It was a red alert that there was no going to be any kind of development. So with the demonstrations gone, their relevance is also gone because there's nothing. Raila and Ruto are somehow having a soft spot for each other now. Raila wants to go to the AU, and with that, he's forced to try and take a low profile, and that is the end of the Nyanza rebels. Number two, these people were to help sell Ruto's agenda in Nyanza. It is not sinking anymore because as long as Raila Amolo Odinga is still in the limelight, it is not very easy to penetrate the Nyanza. Just like William Ruto knows, he's a kingpin in the Rift Valley. We have a kingpin in Mount Kenya. I don't know who he is. I'm getting confused whether it's Gachagua, whether it is William Ruto there because people still understand him, or Uhuru Kenyatta. But you cannot just go to Rift Valley and you think you can unseat William Ruto very easily. So these Nyanza rebels have found it very difficult to sell the UDA agenda. And the UDA agenda was development. They wanted to use that to attract, permeate the very hard block there and sell Ruto's agenda. It is not working because the development itself is not there. So people are asking, where is the development that you've been talking about? And with that, without the development, the UD agenda is also not sinking. And William Ruto is very keen. I know he did not want to bypass Raila to start penetrating Nyanza using these rebels because he knows it was going to backfire anyway. It was not going to be very easy for him because William Ruto is a senior politician. He saw people like Tuju. He saw people like Orengo and Nyong when they were in SDP. There are people who have tried fighting Raila, but they have always been forced to swallow humble pie. So he knew very well, and I know this was just a matter of time. The real person that Ruto wants is Raila Amolo Odinga, because you get Raila, you get majority of his supporters. Number three, Ruto cannot elevate these Nyanza rebels. Somebody like David Ochieng, Eliud Owalo, he knows very well that there's a possibility that Raila Amolo Odinga would not be on the ballot. And Ruto does not want a situation where he has to come to Nyanza through proxies, that before he comes to Nyanza, he has to pass through Eliud Owalo or somebody like David Ochieng. He does not want that. And that is the reason why it forced the decision to kind of like the PS interior, Ray Omolo. The reason why they are very close, Ray Omolo is never a politician. People like Eliud Owalo, David Ochieng, those are people they love politics. And they want to rise up as kingpins. And William Ruto would not want that. So if he tries to elevate all these Nyanza rebels and gives them development to take to the people, they will rise up. And very soon they will start becoming kingpins and they will be controlling. Before Ruto comes, you have to pass through us. And that is one thing that Ruto does not want. That is also the beginning of their fallout with Rigathi Gachagua. Because Rigathi wanted to consolidate support for Mount Kenya. William Ruto cannot allow that. That's why people like all these rebels, Jalango, Gideon Ochanda, they have to be somewhere at the periphery. They have to be shown that they are in UDA. They have formed alliances with the president, yet that alliance is just on paper. Realistically, it's not there at all. It is due to that kingpinship. Ruto does not want. If you try to create another power in an area where you want to inherit, who unto you? Because what makes you think that as politicians, David Ochieng does not want to become a Nyanza kingpin? What makes you think that they don't want to become maybe future leaders, a president or deputy? So William Ruto cannot allow that. The last one is that these people were made to try and finish Raila. And I remember that's why they were even given more reinforcement when Miguna, the red alert was flagged off, and Miguna returned to the country. And the first thing he said was that he was going to liberate Kenyans, liberate Luos, and emancipate them from the yoke of Odingaism. That's what Miguna told us. He realized it is not a walk in the park. So these people have not met their part of the bargain, because I know they were supposed to even show that there are signs and symptoms that they are finishing Raila. But instead of finishing Raila, Raila became even bigger and better. He was consolidating power during the registration of ODM. And he finished with Nyanza, went to Busia, went to Mombasa. So Raila just showed them that you cannot finish someone who still has influence in Mombasa, in the whole country. They have felt terrible. In fact, even if they are crying foul that they need development, Ruto will tell them, what have you brought? Because if I may ask you, what have they done to William Ruto, these rebels, that can make William Ruto bow down to them or give them what? I don't know which one comes first. Is it development before they tried finishing Raila, because they were to use the development? Or William Ruto was waiting for them to at least do something? Even the UDA recruitment trap is not working. That's why it was very easy to predict that their turn would come. And I know very many people are happy about this. They're crying foul. It was never genuine in the first place. And that's my take.